It was supposed to be a quiet afternoon, a simple, well-choreographed royal appearance at the Royal College of Music. Princess Charlotte, poised and proud in a powder blue dress, was set to deliver a short, charming speech. The media were told it would be a family moment, the Princess of Wales seated in the front row, Prince William smiling at his daughter from the wings. But within palace walls, something far more complex was taking shape. And the one who saw it first wasn't a parent. It was Princess Anne. Seated a few rows back in her usual understated manner, and had learned to watch in silence. While the public sees tiaras and protocol, and sees power moves, and someone had made one. The lectern had been subtly shifted. The lighting tilted downward, creating sharp shadows across the face of anyone standing center stage. Most glaringly, Charlotte's cue card had changed. Gone were her soft, childlike words about music and joy, in their place were phrases too rehearsed, too political, too adult. And recognized the tactic years ago, similar adjustments had been made in Catherine's early public appearances. Lighting designed to dwarf, scripts written to confuse. And had stayed silent then, she would not again. Queen Camilla had arrived earlier than expected that day, flanked by 2 communications aides previously linked to controversial briefings during Charles's coronation year. They lingered near the tech booth. They reviewed cue sheets. 1 even adjusted a stage light. To the average observer, nothing. But to Anne, it was a message. This moment wasn't just about Charlotte. It was about reminding everyone who controls the stage. And didn't confront Camilla, she never needed to. Instead, she summoned the deputy stage coordinator with a look. Within 20 minutes, the cue card had been replaced with Charlotte's original, written in pencil with her mother the night before. Lighting shifted back. 1 aide was quietly escorted out. No raised voices. No official memo. Just the precision of a woman who'd watched power up close for half a century. Prince William remained oblivious. His attention was fixed on logistics, press lanes, handshakes. Catherine was comforting Charlotte, who seemed slightly tense. Neither suspected that their daughter had almost been used as a pawn in a very adult game. At 4:43 p.m., Princess Charlotte stepped onto the stage. The lighting was soft, her cue card, her own. She spoke clearly, "Music makes me feel brave." Applause followed, warm and genuine. William clapped with glassy eyes. Catherine beamed, Charlotte curtsied. Camilla didn't stay long, she left before the family photo, passing Anne in the corridor without a word. But Anne didn't need one. Her work was done. She had prevented what could have been a quiet coup against a child's confidence. No press release was issued. No papers picked up the scent. But inside Kensington Palace, a single photo was sent to Anne's office later that evening. Charlotte, offstage, still holding her pencil-written card. The message was clear: we know. And we're grateful. And somewhere behind palace curtains, one very experienced royal kept watching, waiting for the next move. Because in this monarchy, power is rarely shouted. It's moved in silence. But silence does not mean acceptance. Just 3 days later, Queen Camilla held a private audience with 2 senior aides behind the heavy oak doors of Clarence House. The meeting lasted less than 20 minutes. What was discussed has not been officially disclosed, but by the following morning, 2 of her longtime communications staff were removed from all upcoming events and reassigned to private estate duties. It was the kind of reorganization that in corporate terms might be considered internal restructuring, but in royal language, it was a quiet purge. Camilla's reaction was not one of guilt. It was offense that a child's voice was allowed to override the messaging structure she had spent months quietly re-establishing was, to her, a threat to the narrative she was working to build alongside King Charles, that of an orderly, united monarchy under her soft guidance. But what had been exposed instead was something else, a generational fault line. Princess Anne, long treated as the monarchy's silent general, had shown her cards. She had stepped forward not for a crown, not for title, but for a 10-year-old girl who didn't even know she was being pulled like a puppet. In doing so, Anne became not just a figure of discipline, but one of unexpected tenderness, and, in royal circles, that is far more dangerous. Kensington Palace did not comment. But a notable shift occurred. In the days that followed, Charlotte appeared in 3 separate photo calls, all with natural lighting, all unfiltered, all showing her smiling and unprompted. It was not accidental. William, according to a senior insider, had a private conversation with Anne the next Sunday. He said only one thing, "Thank you." And reportedly replied, "Do better." The story would have ended there, but the ripples moved further. At the next Privy Council gathering, Camilla arrived late, unusual for her, and was seated 2 chairs behind the position traditionally afforded to the Queen Consort. No official reason was given. No one dared ask, but the courtier who placed her nameplate that day had worked in the palace since 1986 and had once served as Anne's personal clerk. Coincidence, perhaps. Or perhaps it was a message. In royal circles, battles are rarely declared. They are made in silence, through stage lights, seating plans, and cue cards. But this time, the message was heard clearly: Charlotte would not be shaped by shadows. And had spoken, not in words, but in outcomes. And now, Camilla knows, her influence is not limitless. The monarchy will survive not because it resists change, but because it learns when to let go. And sometimes, the most powerful gesture is a pencil-written note in a child's pocket. Would you have noticed the lighting? Would you have known the difference in that cue card? Or is it only when a child begins to falter that we look up from the stage? Let us know what you think, comment below, subscribe, and join the conversation. The shadows are watching.